Welcome to the next episode of I Gotta Be Honest With You. And I believe this is the 7th attempt at filming this episode. I'm just Tom.
D-Man.
I'm Dunnzilla.
And today's topic at hand is going to be...
Today's topic is why are you guys wearing the same color shirt?
Well,
You guys look like twinsies. What is this?
No. I hate to break news to you, Dunnzilla, but it's about the Joker.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
we do look like twinsies, though.
Yeah, we do. But maybe next episode we'll do something about shirts, okay?
I could change my shirt if you want later off camera, but I'll just bite the bullet for this Joker episode.
There you go.
The Joker was created in 1940 by Bob Kane, Bill Finger, and Jerry Robinson. He appeared in Batman #1 and has appeared always as like a comedic mobster. He was the Red Hood at one point and things like that. And in the 1950s he kind of took off, like off the radar a little bit because of the comic code.
Yeah, because he was villainous and they really didn't want to have him, because they would kind of look for light stuff and all that stuff. They tried to make it more family friendly or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of like something like that.
Kid friendly.
Kid friendly, there you go, yeah.
And then in the 60s with the launch of the Batman movie and the subsequent TV show, Cesar Romero played the Joker and they just made it campy.
Oh yeah, well everything came camp in the 60s because that was just the way, and DC jumped on that bandwagon because why not go off the shirt tails of the show, because you make money that way and all that stuff. So shirt tails. And in the 70s he was so popular he got his own comic, which only had a 9-issue run, which some say is good, others say not so much.
I think it sucked.
Yeah, half and half.
Alrighty then. I got nothing on that one. Then.
What happened after the 60s, after the TV show got canceled? It got canceled.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it got canceled because of ratings. The 60s were dying out and all that stuff. But Cesar Romero's legacy was so imprinted on DC comic fans. I mean, come on, the guy painted his mustache white. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually.
That's dedication to the
character.
Dedication to the character,
exactly.
A little sidebar is when they did the Batman show, a little off the Joker thing, is they got so many people to play in this, to be the villains. It was pretty cool. Anyway.
Great show. Very underrated run.
Very, very.
But like I said, that stigma of the Joker just being was stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
But it wasn't until I believe Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil did revamp the Joker in Batman 251, where they made him the more murderous, menacing. Instead of your crazy uncle, this was like the really dark and dreary, menacing psychopath.
So, Tom, quick question. Where'd you get this comic?
Wonderland Comics.
Wonderland Comics, which has all your Batman needs and comics that you can get, even the great runs, including, I will say, this one, which was Marshall Rogers when they did the Joker, and they did the famous fish guns. The fish guns were very cool, which they also did an episode on Batman animated series of it, which was actually a really good show.
Which we'll discuss momentarily, how the lasting cultural impact that the Joker has had with numerous incarnations and things like that. But obviously we had Cesar Romero's run, and then we had the comic book revamp. But in the 1980s, when comic books were starting to take a more mature run with Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, they had finally greenlit the Batman film in 1989, and they cast none other than
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson to play the Joker. And he broke that. He can't. Jack Nicholson got paid a lot of money to play the Joker, and he couldn't.
I can't do it.
Jack Nicholson was paid a lot of money to play the Joker, and he really made a dramatic run on the Joker. And we're really going off the cuff here, boys.
Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present Mr. Troy Potter, the owner of Wonderland Comics.
Who seems to feel the need to be the Joker and mess up our show.
I had to throw in this. Thanks.
No problem.
Nice to be here. Appreciate your listening. These guys are awesome.
God help us. Anyway, this was on one of the books. This, everybody says, is the definitive Joker story.
That is the definitive Joker story, which partially inspired the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson film.
Jack Nicholson, who did an awesome job as the Joker. This right here is, if you've never read this, read this. It's an awesome. They actually did a movie about it too, and it's actually a pretty good movie. But Mark Hamill is the Joker, who is definitively probably the best cartoon Joker there is. His laugh alone is amazing. Oh yes, definitely.
The Arkham video games and countless other television projects.
They also back in the '80s, they actually did a thing where Robin was killed. You could call in to have him killed or not.
Well, I want to just jump in for a second about that. There is no Batman without the Joker. Without the Joker, there is no Batman. Those two need each other.
They're like the yin to yang.
Yin to yang, Cain and Abel, whatever you want to call it. Opposites attract, whatever. But the cool thing about the Joker was, when this book came out, the Joker had run its course. Come on, fish guns and throwing cards at dudes' necks and things like that. That's all fine and good, but they really wanted to take comics in a much more serious, mature route. And Killing Joke was a good example, as was Death in the Family, where, as D-Man just said, killing Robin's a big deal. And
And they had people call in?
They actually, yes, they actually had, you called in, this is before internet, they had 50-cent thing and we call in to see whether he decided whether he'd live or die. I believe Jim Aparo did this art too, which is an underrated artist. What they did is they drew two things. They do one where he lived and one where he died. Evidently everybody called in and killed him off, which kind of...
It was a close vote though.
Right, but it was a close vote. But because of that, Robin died and Jason Todd became Robin.
Incorrect. Jason Todd was killed.
And then,
and then years later, Tim Drake became
correct.
Robin.
Right.
Dick Grayson, I believe, he was with the Titans.
Yeah, you're right.
But he was Nightwing.
No, he was Nightwing.
After
yes.
the Judas contract, which we'll do an entire episode.
Which they're doing a movie of. Quick plug.
Yeah, we'll do an entire episode on that one.
Oh yeah,
but
big time.
Going back to the Joker, when they killed Jason Todd, it made the Joker and the Batman's their hatred much more in depth and just more personal. And subsequently, they brought Jason Todd back as the Red Hood, which is interesting because before, and here's the thing with the Joker, he's nameless. You don't know who the Joker's real identity is.
Which is an awesome thing, and I think you never should know whose name is, because if you know him, the part of the mystique's gone.
In the film, the Tim Burton film, yes, he was Jack Napier, but they had to do that to establish the connection between Bruce Wayne and Jack Napier. But the Joker was a nameless thug who wore a red hood, who fell into a vat of acid, and that's how he became the Joker. Years later, when Jason Todd was killed, and he came back because of the Lazarus Pit, he took on the identity
of the Red Hood.
So,
you know, what I find is, because we've mentioned before about Marvel, DC doing a rebirth thing. I don't like the idea of the rebirth thing is that there were 3 Jokers now. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but what they're doing is, I think they're going to sort of cover the 3 big personas of the Joker. There's the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Right.
Then there's the Heath Ledger Joker, which is just
off the hook.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Not as good as Jack's, but it's still up there.
It's like 1A, 1B. They're both number 1.
Yeah.
But in a way, but if you look at them, both the way they did the characters was different.
Jack was like crazy psychotic uncle.
Right.
Heath was just crazy mobster. But wait a minute, you know, guys, I'm thinking there was one other guy that played the Joker.
We're not going to get into that right now because I'm going to let him do that in his final thought, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I just can't think of that loser's name.
I heard he won an Academy. He won an Academy Award.
Wasn't he in that crappy band too? Was it 20 Seconds to Jupiter or something?
But wait.
Is that what it was?
Didn't he win an Academy Award for something too? I'm not really sure who it is. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll talk
Everyone
about
wins Academy Awards anyway. So
well, have you won one?
I have, yeah.
Really? Wow.
That's sound editing. There's a category for everything. In
I
the
guess
Oscars,
so.
Except stunts.
Except for just stunts.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, you know, if you do it right, you're good. If you don't, well, no.
Yeah, Jackie Chan style.
Yeah, well, you know. Anyway, do you want to do the trivia thing today now, and then we'll get our final thoughts with Dunnzilla?
Absolutely. We don't have a trivia question lined up yet, though, for the Joker.
Well, then come up with one on the fly.
As you know, watching the weekly episodic television series, I got to be honest with you, we do a trivia question. And today we're going to keep it with the Joker. Why don't you come up with it, Daryl? If you get the question right, just come on in. Tell whoever's working. You can get this limited edition Doctor Who comic, which I think we're down to 274.
I haven't sold that many, okay? Really. I got nothing. I got no idea. I have no trivia question whatsoever. I'm going to ballpark you here.
How about what was the Joker's daughter's real name?
There you go. We'll go with some.
Troy.
There we go, Troy. We'll let Troy from
Troy
the
to
distance.
the rescue.
Troy off camera.
Off camera. That's it.
What was the Joker's daughter's real name?
And here, done with Dunnzilla with his last one final thoughts.
My final thoughts on the Joker. Yes, he's an iconic character, but the problem is he's too overused. Yeah. You know, he's just everywhere, and that's what brings me to the Jared Leto Joker. You know, I only watched a few seconds of that movie. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. That was fun. I wasn't impressed. I mean, it's almost like he was just trying to do his own impression of the Heath Ledger Joker. Like same mannerisms and stuff. I mean, if you can't do it right, don't do it at all. It's like taking a piece of dog crap, putting it in a bowl, and then putting ice cream on top of it. It may look good, but it's still a piece of crap. And that's my final thoughts.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tune out now.
I'm D-Man.
I'm
Dunnzilla.
See you next time.